Hi and welcome to another Memories Made video. I'm designer Jen Gallacher and today we're going to be creating a travel type layout, but it's a twist on travel and I'll show you why. So the first thing that we're going to start with is a sheet of sort of off-white cardstock, and you could use white if you wanted to. And then this is some corrugated cardstock, and I'm starting to see this a lot from a lot of different manufacturers, and I cut it down to a little bit smaller than the 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And the way to add adhesive to this corrugated cardstock is by using a stronger adhesive. A dot runner may not hold this thicker material in place, so you need to use either glue dots or double-sided sticky tape or whatever you like that is a slightly stronger adhesive. So go ahead and center that right in the middle of the layout. I have some pattern paper from Basic Gray. This is from their new bow ties collection. And then I have cut a zigzag border using this American Crafts border punch. And I will link you to a couple of different options. These come separately. They also come in a value kit, as well as they come with a tool where you take this off, place it in the tool and punch it. But I've found that especially with these more broad designs, the more open designs, less intricate, you can use them without the tool. And they come in a lot of different fun designs. So I'll be sure to link you to those in the product section on my blog. So let's go ahead and add this at the bottom. And then I'm going to ink the edges a little bit with some brown stamping ink. This is a brown pigment ink pad. Whatever ink pad you like, you're welcome to use. You can also use these Prima inkers. They're chalk ink, so I'll link you to some of those as well. And we'll go ahead and adhere this at the bottom of the layout. So I am using this particular pattern paper because it reminded me of a road trip pattern paper, and you travel in cars on your road trip, and so I decided to use that. This is a blue dot pattern paper from My Mind's Eye, and I'm going to add a second border punch to this particular sheet of pattern paper, and it's a notebook punch that I have pre-punched. This is a punch that I highly recommend you get if you don't already have it. There's something about it that's almost a neutral punch, and it adds just a little bit of texture to whatever project you're working on, and you'll see me use it a lot in my projects, so be sure to check them out. There's a lot of different companies that make different versions of these, so find one you like and add it to your tool stash, and then we'll add a little bit more adhesive on the back before we place it down. So I've showed you before I have a large vintage dictionary, and I have cut a sheet of pattern paper out of there and used a circle cutter to cut a half circle from this. You can see I've doodled a little bit on the back of it. I'm just going to place it right here. Most of this is going to be covered by our photographs, and that's okay. It's just a hint of that. So then for the photos, I have some 4x6 photos. And depending on where you get them printed, if you get them printed at a photo place, they typically won't leave a white border. Some will, and if you like that look, be sure to ask for it. You can also mount them on white cardstock if you like this look, and leave about 1/8 of an inch on each edge of the photographs. So this is where I said the twist comes in. These are photos of my son and his friend driving around the neighborhood in a little toy car. You see these cars everywhere. But it was kind of like a road trip, and it made using some vacation and road trip images fun. So just because you haven't gone on vacation, there are other ways to use road trip or car images. So we're just going to adhere these both on the edge of the layout like this. Now I've used a lot of different die cuts from a variety of companies. This particular one is from American Crafts, and it says Remember Today, and I printed it in my printer, and I did that by printing it out first on regular printer paper, and then I came back and adhered the die cut directly to the printer paper and ran it through my printer again. So you can do that however you like. Now I have a lot of tags from Chic Tags or Chic Tags, and they're darling, and they're road trip type ones, and they generously sent me a few to play with, and this is what kind of inspired this entire layout. So they have stickers, and they have circular die cut shapes, and these are fun for whether you do Photo Freedom, Project Life, however you like to do it. I'm going to take this little ticket and I'm going to punch out along this upper edge just a little bit so it resembles more of a ticket. And then I'll adhere it to my layout. And this one I'm going to stick onto the actual photo. So I layered some things behind and some things on top. I have a 20-cent sticker. This is from Crepe Paper from their DIY ephemera die cut package, and I've used a lot of these, and I like that the colors matched what I was working with. This is one of the Chic tags, the snapshots, and I'm going to add it to my layout with some adhesive foam squares. And these are from American Crafts. I quite like these. They come in a large square and a small square, and I will link you to those as well if they're in stock at 2Ps. We'll just layer that right there on the bottom. And then I couldn't finish this portion without a few enamel dots. And they come in a variety of sizes. If you prefer jewels, this is a great place to add jewels. It just adds a little bit of texture. So whether you have jewels or dots or however you like to use them, that will work. At the top of the layout, I have some basic gray pattern paper, and the bow ties collection came with a matching collection called knee highs. And knee highs and bow ties is a boy-girl release from Basic Gray, and they're charming and whimsical. One has a lot of girl elements and one has a lot of boy elements. And I'm just going to cut this end into a pennant, and we'll adhere this at the top of the layout, right across the top of that corrugated cardstock. And the lines in the cardstock make it easier to align the border. Just want to make sure that there is the same amount of pennant on each side. Then I have a card from the Chic tags that says snapshots, and I love that it's one of those Rolodex cards. Like I said, there are a lot of different options to choose from this particular collection, so you can do a lot of fun things. This is a punch that I punched using a Martha Stewart Anywhere punch, and how this punch works is it comes in 2 pieces, and there are magnets, and you place your paper in the center, and then the magnets click together, and then when you punch it, you get a punch like this. And why you would want to have a punch like this rather than a traditional punch is it allows you to punch both independent shapes like this, or I could place it anywhere on my layout and create that shape. So it will punch through pattern paper wherever you want. So I printed additional journaling on this other tag from Chic Tags. It says backseat convos, or conversations, and it says go faster, Jimmy, go faster. Because that seems like it was the topic of conversation a lot when these two were riding on this little car. So I wanted to capture both traditional journaling as well as just a conversation. We're going to overlap those two together. I have some washi tape from Bella Boulevard in yellow. I always like to add a little bit of tape to my projects. And you can use as much or as little as you want. And then I usually try to add it at the bottom as well. You can, again, tear off as little or as much as you want. But I usually like to have it appear in more than one place. So if you don't like where it ends up, you can change it, do whatever you like there. I have pulled some stickers from the Bow Ties collection pack in their Elements sticker sheet. And they're little asterisks, and I thought that would be fun to add to the layout. And then I have a mustard colored button to match the color in this die cut as well as in the truck, or the Jeep rather, and we'll go ahead and add that to our layout with glue dots. Be sure to invest in a couple of different colors of color twine. It helps make the project to look a little bit more interesting. A lot of the time I use white and craft color, but you can use a lot of different colors. I have some paper clips from Tim Holtz, and we're going to attach them at the top. I particularly like these because they're a little bit smaller, and they're kind of fat, and I think they're cute. So go ahead and add that to the top of that die cut. And then you can see how just by adding some elements that are road trip travel related, I have created a layout about these two kids running around the neighborhood. I'm going to go ahead and add the title, and I have cut that with my Silhouette machine. And I've cut the bottom part with the Silhouette machine from Craft Cardstock. and that is Trip. And the other half of the title I'm going to do with some thickers that I have. When I am mixing and matching different kinds of shapes, I like to make sure that I choose a word that is interesting. So either interesting for my die cut or interesting for the stickers. And that way it stands out a little bit more. So these are Dolce stickers from American Crafts, and they are an orange fabric. So we will add the word Trip to the layout. And you could do this with whatever you have on hand. I just pulled some orange ones. We'll just align them on here. If your thickers adhesive has worn off over time, which it sometimes happens if you're a thicker hoarder, you can always add glue dots to the back of the stickers and it will help them stay in place. So it happens from time to time where the stickers don't stick after a while. So just add some adhesive and they will maintain their shape a little bit longer. So there you have a layout that uses some travel and road trip type images to cover an everyday today memory. Thank you for joining me for today Memories Made video. Be sure to visit my blog for the complete supply list for creating this layout and watch for a new Memories Made video coming soon.